Hello, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. My name's Clearly, I'm an artist and producer, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a hyperpop beat for someone like Glaive, Brakence, or Ericdoa. I made this beat with a loop from johnnyfriend. He's another producer, he's super fire, his links will be in the description. I will start with a snippet of the beat so you guys can hear the full thing.
That's another banger, Johnny.
Clearly.
Okay, so that's the beat. There's a lot of variation, a lot of different things going on. I will go through it bit by bit and kind of just show you what's going on. We'll start with the loop. It's just a guitar loop from Johnny. A lot of these types of beats use a lot of different guitars that are similar to a lot of pop punk, a lot of emo, a lot of Midwest emo type of stuff. So that's kind of what I got here. This is the loop in full just by itself. I like that it's broken up into different bits so you can kind of lay it out. It's good to have lots of variation in these types of beats. I like to switch it up a lot with the drums. I kind of have the drums broken up by section, kind of in verse and the hook. Different verses have different drums. Go through that. For first verse, it's just a lot of kind of rock style, punk kind of drums. I'll start with the kick. It's just 2 layered kicks. And then 2 snares too, just going with it. And then I just have a simple bass guitar, just playing these notes, just following the bass notes of the guitar. I will show you how to get those. You just go to the main guitar melody, solo it, open up a wave candy, make it visible. I like to make it big. And you just go to spectrum and you turn the scale knob here so you can see the scale. I like to turn up the bands just so you can see it a little better. And then you can just see the bass notes here. And the bass guitar is just following these notes, playing along with the guitar. And then just for the second bit, second half of the first verse, bring in the other guitar. And just an open hi-hat and another snare layer. And then right before the chorus, I have this little drum fill that just kind of comes in, as well as a little transition sound. So now we have the hook. First half, I like to have the guitar kind of just playing on the first 2 beats, not playing on the second 2. Kind of sounds like the snare cuts it off, just gives it some nice groove. And with the snare, I have some accent snares too, just for some bounce. We also have the 808 and the kick. So the 808 is just following the bass notes along with the guitar, and then I also have some extra 808 hits kind of just hitting in these little extra spots for some extra groove. The kick doesn't always hit with the 808, sometimes the kick hits without the 808, sometimes the 808 hits without the kick, just to kind of add some bounce. And then for the second half of the hook, I have the guitar layers coming back in, just the other 2 layers to fill it out, as well as a simple hi-hat, an open hi-hat pattern. I made the hi-hat out of a McMira perk. I like to just play with sounds a lot, to do different things, just experiment. I encourage you guys to play with different sounds, experiment with them, do what you want, kind of create your own sound that way. So yeah, that turns into that. Nice kind of funky little hi-hat. And then so all the drums together. And then for the transition back into the second verse, I have everything cutting off kind of with the snare hit, just kind of give it some space, a little transition, and then I have this just to kind of fill it out a little. And then so for the second verse, I have this guitar. I just took the same pattern, I clicked it over, I went over to this little symbol here, click there, and just hit make unique. So after you hit make unique, it goes to the channel rack. There's another one there, so it's separate. You can send it to a different mixer channel if you like. And that's just how I got these other ones here. So for this one, I sent it to a different mixer channel. And on the mixer, I just have gross beat and some EQ. Gross beat is great with samples. It's a great way to change up samples, add some variation. It's great for working with loops, and I use it all the time with loops. It just stretches it out, makes it sound kind of dark. And then on these types of beats, sometimes there's some choppiness, so I just have some chops on the gross beat, so that sounds like this with the chops. And I just have an EQ to get rid of some of the lower frequencies, cleans up the sound a little. And then here I keep it open, not a whole lot going on, just a snare and an 808. I like to add variation by just doing simple stuff like switching the snare. So same thing as these patterns, you would just go here, hit make unique, it would just make it a separate pattern, and then you can edit it however way you want in the channel rack. I like to just add another sound and swap basically the sound out. So here I have the brakence snare instead, and then I just have this 808. And then second half of the second verse, it's a lot more variation, but it's pretty much the same. For the main guitar, I pitched it up an octave, and I have another gross beat, just slowing it down in half. And then here I have this pattern, and that just sounds like this. Then this other layer, pitched down an octave, and I just have some EQ, some chorus to kind of fill out the space, reverb again filling out the space, some wider to just make it wider in your ears, and some soft clipper to bring up the volume a little bit. Sounds like this without the effects. And then that just kind of helps fill out the space. And then this guitar layer, I just have it pitched up an octave. And then we're just bringing in the rest of the drums. Again, I switched out the snare for a different snare. And then a different 808 as well. And then I just have a little bridge with these drum and bass drums. It's just a loop that I have. On the drums, I just have some EQ, taking out some frequencies. And then I have this EQ that basically opens up over time with the automation, as well as the volume goes up over time, just to kind of add some build up. To do the automation, just go to whatever you want to automate. Let's say it's the volume. Just go here, right click, create automation clip. That'll bring that down here. You can change this in any way you want. And then I have the same EQ automation on a bass here. It's just a bass in Serum. And then I just have an extra riser. And then I have this kind of weird drum fill here too, right before the beat drop. Sounds like that. And then we just have the hook again, same thing as before, same thing as the first hook. And then just the outro, which is just the regular guitar playing by itself. I'll show you guys how to do a quick mix. I will eventually do a more in-depth mixing tutorial, the better mix and master tutorial, but for now I'll just show you a quick one. There's a lot of sounds on this beat, so I don't want to go through everything, but I'll make a few simpler beats, go through a few different beats, maybe do a mixing tutorial in the future if that's something you guys want. Let me know in the comments. So yeah. So it's basically just leveling everything, keeping it at a nice volume, nothing too loud. Everything kind of has its space. So you want to level everything to pretty much not be clipping. You can have some stuff clip a tiny bit. I try not to clip much, but just level everything. Try not to have anything clipping. The one thing I do always clip pretty much, especially on these hard-hitting beats with a hard-hitting kick, is I'll clip the kick, so the kick just hits nice and hard. This is what it sounds like before I kind of put the mix on everything. Have it hit hard. Bass is hitting at a decent volume, and the kick is just clipping just a tiny bit. Which is okay, because we're going to compress it. I'll make it a little more full, also fix that clipping. So I typically just do a simple fruity multiband compressor. Just go to presets, comp 1.9, turn the releases down on all of these. The high band, sometimes you can leave it up, same with the medium band if you want a little more space, but I tend to keep them down. It sounds a little nicer. Don't really need to have this super long release. Works as a kind of quick mix. So that's the beat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like. I'm planning on doing more of these in the future. If you guys have any tutorials you want to see, let me know in the comments. There will be tons of these coming on all sorts of different topics. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.